Oh, and we are recording this Q&A section of the open house. We normally record from the beginning. Sorry, we forgot to make a public announcement about that. So, Commissioner, how do you prepare for a public speaking engagement now? This could include a commission meeting or perhaps a keynote address or speech at a conference or meeting that you are invited to. I know you kind of touched upon it, and I know your role in preparing for a public speaking engagement is different as a commissioner. So I'm just kind of wondering, how do you do that now?
So depending on the event, my office, one of my advisors will assist in helping to take an initial cut at drafting some talking points based on me providing them some information about what I want to focus on. And then I'll review and rewrite things to make sure it fits my tone or my voice, basically, I guess, as opposed to tone. And depending on whether there's a PowerPoint or what the presentation is, I usually want at least a couple of days so I can go through it and practice. Sometimes that's not always possible because there may be a quick turnaround. But again, the biggest challenge I think as a commissioner is sort of having this script laid out, as not always having quite enough time to dig in as deeply as I would like to just be able to kind of talk off the top of my head has been the biggest challenge.
That's really helpful and that makes sense. I know you as a commissioner, you have such a broad scope of issues. You are overseeing everything that the Public Utilities Commission does, which is anything from energy, telecommunications, water, safety, rail. I mean, the whole gamut of what we regulate. So it's totally understandable, but it's good to know that you do have a process for that. And I think that's really important for when anyone is preparing to speak publicly, is just making sure you are indeed preparing. So this kind of leads me to my next question, which is essentially about addressing controversial questions you get. So my question now is, what advice do you have for addressing controversial questions or antagonistic questions that you get when you're a speaker at a public event? So a commission meeting or a workshop or a conference. How do you normally handle that, and what advice do you have for others?
So I would recommend, take a pause, take a breath, and that's always good. I think when you're the one doing that, it seems like it's taking up more time than it really does. But pausing and taking a breath, especially if it's particularly targeted and you're feeling uncomfortable, depending on how they've see, I just said so I'm conscious of that now. Depending on how the question is posed, you might want to like thank them for the question, even if it's adversarial, if there's a way to kind of recognize that and diffuse the situation a little bit. Sometimes that's not always possible. If somebody's calling you a corrupt, horrible person, it's not always easy to say thank you for that comment. But but if it's a question, I think it's good to say thank you for that question. We really want to address all these perspectives. If it's really targeted and kind of personal, I think it can make it much harder, but taking it out of the personal and bringing it back to the issue. So sort of getting it, okay, what is it that they're actually addressing and concerned about, and just kind of taking it out of that personal dynamic and being like, okay, that sounds like your issue is X. Here's the place to address that, or here's how to do that, or this isn't the place to address that issue. Um, you know, Sometimes you may even have to say, you know, your time is up. Please sit down. If they don't want to do that and they're still being really argumentative, um, if it's a virtual environment, you may say, okay, thank you. I'm going to have to mute you now and we're going to move on. Or if it's an in-person situation, occasionally, I've been in situations where we've actually had to have people physically removed from a room. But just trying to do it in a way that shows that you're calm and you're confident, and that's not always easy, is what I would recommend.
Thank you, Commissioner. That is so true about what you said in the beginning when you said about pausing, taking a breath, internalizing the question, and then being able to respond in a manner that comes off sort of calm, cool, collected, confident, and in a way that can be, hopefully relatively well received by the recipient. But like you said, in these circumstances, it's just like sometimes you never know what's going to happen. But if you're always confident, then it rubs off. So thank you so much for that. My last question, even though we're at time, I did want to ask this question because I want to hear from you on it. Do you have any embarrassing or awkward or uncomfortable public speaking related stories? And if you do, what happened and how did you move on from it? And did you learn anything from the experience?
So I would say one of the most difficult, awkward, and embarrassing times I've spoken in public. I had a client I was representing that had a governing body that was not in agreement. They had two people that wanted to do one thing and two that wanted to do another. And as the lawyer, I ended up getting stuck in the middle, and the side that didn't want to do what was being recommended, actually by the majority, there were five, so there was 3 and 2, was not happy with where things were going. And we had a public meeting where we were presenting sort of, here's the next steps, here's the decisions you're going to have to make. And in the middle of this public meeting, one of the folks on the side that wasn't happy just started yelling at me, saying I was incompetent and I didn't know what I was doing, and that they'd consulted with another attorney who said we were that what I was presenting was wrong and incompetent, and he wanted the whole thing held over, and they were going to get this other attorney involved, and he was going to fix everything. So that was a really difficult and embarrassing situation because it was in front of a client and their whole group of folks. So basically, we took a break. We ended up getting the other attorney on board. This person didn't know I had actually consulted with that attorney before I had done my advice, and they had reached out to them separately, and they ended up saying everything I did was totally fine. And it actually ended up but the situation at hand in the meeting itself was very embarrassing, to have your client yelling at you and telling you you're literally an idiot in front of an entire room of people. So basically, I just said, okay, if you want to get this person that you've consulted with on, we can walk through this. And we all agreed to take a break and move on. But that was very difficult. And I can remember standing there working really hard not to start crying because it was really difficult. But I managed to do that. So I was very proud of the fact that I did not start crying until much later when no one was in the room.
Yes. Exactly. No, thank you for that, Commissioner. I can say I do have similar experience, not the same thing, but like, you just got to do everything you can to hold in your emotions and then eventually let it out, because when people do come at you like that, it's really, really off-putting. But no, that's a really, really good story, and I think a lot of people can relate to that as well. I do remember a couple years ago, at a commission meeting where protesters came in, and we were all in person, and they were, calling the commissioners names and just being extremely aggressive, and just like watching the commissioners, and they were just all very, just their faces were internalizing everything, and it's definitely tough, and you could tell that there was emotion there. And I know that that type of experience is tough, but it's good that you did what you did, and you moved on from it, and you learned from it. And so, yeah, well, again, Commissioner, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come share your story with us and talk with us, answer our questions, be here for our open house. We really appreciate it. And yeah, learned a lot from our session with you today. So thank you. Everybody, a round of applause for the Commissioner. A virtual round. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
And
you.
oh, I see that we actually have a few folks raising hands. So let me, um, one second. Bridget, I see you raised your hand.
Sorry, Amanda, that was a mistake. My
Okay.
apologies.
Okay.
I was trying to clap
Okay.
the commissioner.
Okay. I'm glad you're here, Bridget, by the way. Okay, great. Now we will move on to our next portion of the open house, which is explaining the benefits of Toastmasters membership. So I have two wonderful members of our Toastmasters club here today that are going to provide some insight into the benefits of a Toastmasters club membership and give you all the information you need to know about being in our club. So first, I will turn it over to our wonderful secretary, Gretchen Tometz, to give a little speech, a short speech. Gretchen, please take it away.
Thank you, Amanda. I come to Pucksters from the neighborhood. I first heard about Toastmasters actually decades ago, and I've only been a member for about 6 years. I was a young woman way back working downtown, and somebody told me about Toastmasters, where people would get up and give speeches and then people would critique them. I was incredulous. I couldn't imagine myself ever doing something like that. Fast forward about 5 years ago, I was invited to be a substitute speaker at my sitting group, and the teacher recommended that I find a Toastmasters group. So it took several months. I was chicken. I visited 4 different clubs, and I chose Pucksters both because of the people and because of the reputation for excellence that they had. I had in my career done multiple sales presentations, but as I look back, I realize it was just a stab in the dark. What Toastmasters has provided is a toolkit, and it comes in the form of a terrific online education program that has various projects where you learn what is it that makes an excellence in a speech. How do you structure it effectively? How do you use your voice, your gestures, etc.? In this education system, they also have projects where you practice leadership skills. So you become, Toastmasters has all kinds of events that you can participate in. You become an officer. You have all these ways to practice the leadership skills that are laid out for you in the education system. So it's been just a terrific place, a forum for development for me in an incredibly supportive environment. Years ago, when I said I wouldn't be caught dead doing this, I didn't realize the automatic support structure that's built in to the Toastmasters methodology. So I am super happy I joined Toastmasters, especially Pucksters. It's just a wonderful, fun group. And back to you, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Gretchen. A round of applause for you. Loved hearing your story, and we are so honored to have you in our club. You provide so much support yourself, I can personally say, for all of the Pucksters members, and we are just so happy that you are in this club with us. So now I will turn it over to our Sergeant at Arms, Shelby Chase, to give a little rundown of her benefits of being in Pucksters Toastmasters Club. Shelby, please take it away.
Thank you, Amanda. First, I have to totally agree with your commentary on Gretchen. She is a fantastic resource, and her wisdom definitely helps me learn and grow. I joined Pucksters Toastmasters in April of 2021, last year. I was looking to become a more confident public speaker and improve my communication skills. At work, I often have to give presentations to management, and I don't feel like I'm able to clearly and concisely communicate my thoughts on the spot in meetings. I am a leader in organizations outside of work and often have to speak in front of a large audience of my peers. I heard of Toastmasters and I knew I needed to improve my public speaking skills. When I saw that Pucksters was having an open house last year, I decided to attend and see what Toastmasters had to offer. I was interested, but it wasn't until I heard from two good friends, Amanda and Matt Tall, that I decided to attend the meeting as a guest. After attending 2 meetings, I realized how much membership could lead to improvement. Pucksters has given me the ability to practice public speaking. I think we all have a general idea of what makes a good public speaker. Eye contact, body language, and a slow pace. But when in the moment, it's really hard to put all these together and remember them as you're giving a speech. Toastmasters has not only taught me how to improve these skills and essential aspects of public speaking, but has given me a stage to practice. Toastmasters isn't about just giving speeches, it's about practicing your communication skills and learning your different styles. One of my favorite part of the meetings is table topics. As Amanda explained, table topics is the session where members are given a spontaneous prompt and have 1 to 2 minutes to respond to the prompt on the spot. This has helped me in meetings where instead of rambling on and saying as I'm thinking, it helps me take a moment to breathe, pause, and give an answer that I'm confident in. It has taught me to slow down and think about what I'm going to say effectively instead of rushing into an answer that may ramble on. Toastmasters gives the opportunity for continuous improvement. It definitely relates to my work and leadership skills, and I'm excited to continue to better my speaking and communication skills. Thank you. Back to you, Amanda.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for Shelby. Thank you, Shelby. It is such a pleasure having you in Pucksters Toastmaster. Since you joined last year, I can really see your improvement in public speaking and your confidence when you speak. So thank you so much for that insight. And now we are going to our next portion, which I will pass to our Vice President of Membership, Terrence Ang, to explain how you can sign up for our club. Terrence?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Amanda. I want everybody to check out our website. It's pucksters.org. It outlines all of our information and different ways to find out more. Our main address for membership questions is membership@pucksters.org. Yes, and Amanda has provided a link to our website. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to answer any questions you have about how long it takes, what are the benefits, what are the costs. We're happy to sit down with you and help you navigate the entire process.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Terrence. So I dropped our website in the chat, and I also dropped our email address in the chat for those of you who are interested and want to get more information. You all now know that myself, Matthew, Shelby, Ling, Daniel, Terrence, we are all within the PUC as well. So we're all employees, and you can reach out to us directly that way too. So thank you, Terrence. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Amazon gift card raffle. Yay! So we entered everyone's name who registered on the Google Forms that I sent out, or that we sent out a few weeks ago, into this gift card raffle. So we have 2, Terrence, correct me if I'm wrong, we have 2 $50 gift cards and 1 $100 Amazon gift cards to give away to lucky guests. Okay, great. I see your head shaking. So Terrence, please run this session, spin the wheel, share your screen, do everything you got to do to start the raffle.
All right, let's get started.
All right, hopefully we can all see Terrence's awesome screen.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. Typically, we provide lunch at our open house as a thank you to our guests. But now in the digital age, we are providing Amazon gift cards. So as Amanda had previously mentioned, we're giving out 2 $50 Amazon gift cards and 1 grand prize, a $100 Amazon gift card. If you win, please prove to me that you are not a robot. So please unmute yourself, say a few words. I just need proof that you're a human being, and we will provide you the gift card. Also, if you're a winner, please private message me your email address at which you would like us to provide you that gift card. Otherwise, we will just send it to the email address that you provided when you registered. All right, so you can see my screen, thumbs up?
Yep,
All right.
got it.
Okay. So this is our random winner generator. So I'm going to shake it up a few times. And our first $50 Amazon gift card winner is Richard.
Oh,
Theo.
Richard.
Are you there, Richard?
I'm here. I'm not a robot. Hello.
All right.
Woohoo!
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Richard.
Terrence.
What is on the top of your Amazon wish list right now?
As people that work with me know, I really like fishing, so it's probably going to be fishing related somehow.
Awesome. Congratulations. PM
Thank
me
you.
your email address. Otherwise, I'll send it to whatever we have on file.
Sounds good. Thank you, Terrence.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us today. All right. Sorry about that. I'm going to shake it up a few more times. Our second $50 Amazon gift card winner is H. Kim Quach.
Kim. Yay, Kim, are you there?
Are you there?
Yay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Any plans for your newfound riches?
I'm gonna try to go see that movie with that guy, Gerard Butler, that new movie with my family. So
Awesome, welcome. I mean, and thanks for coming. I don't know why this
Thank you.
changes when I move it. All right. Sorry about that. All right, and the final grand prize winner, the 100 big winner for today is Frank McElvain. Are you there?
Frank.
Yeah, hey, well said. Frank McKelvin is how I say the last name, but you had it pretty well correct. Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. Have you ever won the grand prize before?
I've won a couple of prizes in my life, but
Oh, you're
but this is excellent. Thank you.
all right. Sounds like you're quite a lucky man, and you're lucky again today. So congratulations.
Yeah, you're going to see more of me. I'm going to do this Toastmasters thing. So
Oh, great.
Awesome. It's great to hear. And thanks for coming. With that, we have 3 very lucky winners today. Hope you can join us again. We meet every Thursday online, and twice a week we meet in person at 505 Van Ness in San Francisco. So we do hybrid meetings and web on WebEx, we do web version meetings as well. So as I said before, visit our website. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to contact me, membership@pucksters.org. With that, I will turn it over to our club president for final remarks. Take it away, Matthew Tall.
Ooh, thank you, Terrence.
Hi. Thank you so much, Terrence, for hosting our raffle. And perfect. Now I can see everybody's faces. Well, I am so glad everyone that showed up today is sticking around even after the raffle. You never know when people start to dip after a raffle ends. I want to, of course, reach out and thank the commissioner and her staff. I don't know if Karen is still listening in, but our warmest thanks to you working with the commissioner to bring her in. You know, she's a very busy person. So the fact that she took the time to both give us a wonderful speech about her story, about public speaking, and then have a kind of open dialogue, a conversation about, you know, handling interesting people in in some of the meetings she has to deal with, in her stories about having objections every time she said the word We have a similar role to that in Pucksters. It's called the ah counter. And while they don't interrupt you the way they do in her story, we have somebody that counts the ums, the ahs, the filler words to really try to challenge you. I think a couple of our members spoke to kind of the warm and loving environment that this group brings. And it's a great group of people that will help you to, you know, in a safe environment, start to better yourself in your public speaking. But at the same time, they also challenge you. This is not coddling either. The ah counter is one, they will bring down the hammer on you if you have too many crutch words. We have a role called the grammarian that goes and tackles interesting uses of grammar, making sure that you're, for instance, we have a couple of English as second language people in our group. If you're having trouble conjugating verbs into the correct tenses, we have people helping you out with those sorts of things. It's a really great group that challenges you at every turn. And that's one of my favorite parts of this whole thing. Well, without further ado, I would like to throw up onto screen the agenda for next week. Can I get a thumbs up if everybody can see that? Excellent. Well, next week we are going to have, I'm just going to describe the roles here. Our Toastmaster will be Simi. Our speakers are going to be Bianca and Terrence. We're going to have our table topics, which is that impromptu speaking exercise by one of our members, John. Evaluations, which are listening to the primary speakers and then bringing feedback. There's an entire evaluation section. The evaluators will be Ravi and Amanda for our two speakers. I will be the general evaluator. Our timer will be Mateos, and our grammarian will be Daniel. Now, the fun part about this is next week's meeting will be hybrid. So at this same link, we will be hosting both an online version of the meeting, while also there will be people in the, I think it's the courtyard room of 505 NS, where we have the giant whiteboard out and we interact both with the people on the internet as well as the people who want to show up in person and learn their public speaking skills there. And as our wonderful host Amanda brought up, we do this every second and fourth Thursday. And as we move on later into the year, we might even start to do hybrids every week. So we hope to see you there. We finished a little bit early today, which is something that normally doesn't happen to us. So I think what I would like to do with our remaining time is pass it off to our Sergeant at Arms Shelby to close out today's meeting, and then we'll stick around to answer any questions that you have about Pucksters. Feel free to ask us anything you want. We're here for that. All right, can I pass it back to you, Shelby, to close out today's meeting?
Thank you, Mr. President Matthew. Thank you to all our guests for joining us today. We hope that you learned a little bit more about what our club has to offer and that you will either reach out to Terrence about membership or come meet us either next week or online. You can always reach out to any of the officers and we can send you the WebEx link. Thank you again for your participation today, and we hope to see you soon.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Oh, and thank you so much to Amanda for helping lead this conversation and putting this together for us. Round of applause for Amanda.
Thanks, Shelby. It was my pleasure. Thank you all for being here.
While we await questions from the crowd, I'll also throw a little information about our mentor program. So as you come in as a new member to our club, you immediately get set up with the entire Toastmasters International experience. There's a website that helps train you through your first few speeches, really gets the ground underneath you. And then we assign, if you're open to these things, we assign you a mentor. And it's somebody with a year or two in the club at least. They can guide you through those first like 6 months. And it allows you to really start to understand all of the minute differences in the roles. It allows you to bring any questions or problems you have to your mentor. And it's a really good exercise to bring somebody fully into the club. It's something that not all clubs do, and it's something that we're really excited about. So had to mention that as well. Awesome. Any questions from the audience?
Jeff, Carmina, Madeline, Arnold, David.
I'll ask our two people in the office there, Paul and Melvin. Where are in the world are you guys today?
Oh, we actually thought this was going to be a in-person meeting, so we are here in the courtyard room, which you may kind of recognize the lighting here, which is and the not very good effects on the face as well. Much to my surprise, the guy let us in, and yeah, so we arrived here a bit before 12, and it was too late to go back home. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be a private meeting.
Dapper too.
Look so dapper, both of you. You look excellent, beautiful. Love the ties, blazers. 2 thumbs up. Yeah, hat,
The
of
bowler.
course.
Yes. Bowler too. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Thanks, Madeline. Thank you for coming.